These Endermen are just having a field day. Look at all this dirt. They can just pick it all up. It's so much dirt. Hello everyone, this is Animation4 and welcome back to FTB Resurrection, the series where we hit steam generators with hammers and we never have enough silicon. So, today I have things I want to do in a place. What place is that? It's a new place. So I've been doing a bit of work and we now have another dimension we can visit, and that's dimension 3. It's going to drop down. And we're in hub 3. Looks exactly the same. I didn't put the torches on the wall because for some reason here it has the no lighting thing where... I thought I turned you down. Oh, okay. It has the no lighting thing where basically no matter how dark it is, you'll always see it as if it's fully light. Just helpful, but it also means you can't tell where the dark spots are. But here we are. This is... dimension called dimension 3 right now. All I have really set up is this tiny ME system. For some reason the tesseract isn't working because it's not doing anything. I don't know why. It's connected up to the generator. I even tried changing the generator frequency, it didn't work. But yeah, I got the hub down here. And we got this right here. Is it actually weather? If I turn weather off, do I still hear that? I'll assume not for right now. This land is entirely dirt. Not entirely, this biome is dirt. Inside this Mistcraft dimension, which I thought was really interesting because the sky is like gray. And it's like no nature here at all. It's all very dead, very, what's the word I'm thinking of? Drained, kind of. Drained of its resources. So what better place to set up the industrial district? I think it'd look good in this area. Something about this dimension though, gets you occasional lag spikes. But yeah, this is where the industrial sector is going to go. It's going to be the steampunk era. That's the building style behind it, which also makes sense considering the fact that all the machines are going to be powered by the big steam engines I talked about last time. So we're going to have a big steam generator. It's going to have, eventually I would like it to have multiple steam boilers. It must be night because Enderman is spawning. Oh yeah, only Endermen spawn here, which also is good so nothing really blows up or anything. But they do like to move my dirt around. Yeah. What was I saying? Steam boilers. I want to have eventually multiple large steam boilers, but for right now we can just put one in. And everything's going to be themed steampunkish. Even though we are going to technically have electricity, it's going to be mostly themed around large pipes, lots of gears, very gray and brown, but very abstract style buildings in this pipey style. It's kind of what I'm trying to go for. Yeah, so I have tons of building supplies here. I plan on mostly using, what is that? Iron frame. Don't make those, please. I plan on mostly using these factory blocks because with chisel, you can get quite a few really interesting block styles with this. You have some hazard blocks, you have some wireframes, rusted blocks, non-rusted blocks, ventilation, lots of really cool things. And most of them have connected textures. They do this with us. Most of them have connected textures, which would look really good on large scale. I can then combine that with the chisel, the carpenter blocks, not chisel blocks. These are chisel blocks. And I can get something like this. I saw this, I forget where, but it looked really cool. It's basically for a support. They had something like this. Oops. Oh, come on. Place it upside down. Jeez. I do this first? There you go. They had something like this. I can finally get it done. Oh, that was cool lightning. And then these were very exactly how it was, but it was very similar to this, and this would be pretty much the support beams. It wasn't using this style of factory block. I think it was this chisel style of factory. I think it was these styles. So you'd use the lumps here, but it looked really cool, and I'd like to use that in a few places for like main supports. And other than that, I'm just gonna get started here. I'm gonna set up a little foundation, kind of lay out the building plan, and we can see what we can do from there. Real quick, just want to show you this super awesome thing I set up. It's a concrete maker. It makes concrete from netherrack. It was so complicated too. I had to like pump this into a pulverizer, then have that go to a furnace. It was crazy, crazy. Okay, so I think it's coming along. I've just been building, seeing how it goes. I like these concrete blocks. They work really well as floors for the most part. I think I'm going to be using them as mini streets. Nothing really above the surface level though, unless we're doing like skywalkways, which we'll probably end up doing at some point. But for everything else, I'm pretty much using factory blocks and variations of factory blocks. These are just them cut in half with a saw that recently broke, and that's why I couldn't do any more. So, I know I said I was going to build this for, what, 6 or something? 4 or 6. But when I placed down the concrete, I only had space for 2. And I think that's a reasonable size right here. So, one would go here, well, the first one would go here, second one would go here. The steam would be pulled out of them through multiple pipes, but then funneled out this way and out the back. I put a little vanity pipe on the side just to add a little bit of decoration. I'm going to be doing lots of those places, just random pipe looking elements that don't actually do anything, but looks like they could actually serve a purpose. So, yeah, what else was I going to say? Oh, right. So the way I plan on doing this is kind of the way I would normally build. So I'm going to build everything once, right? So I'm going to have this, but then to expand it, I'm going to just simply latch onto it in an interesting way. So I'm going to have this building, it's maybe going to go a little bit taller, have some functioning stuff above, because I'd like the charcoal to actually come in through a conveyor belt on the top. So that has to be actually collected, then settled through. It has to have a storeroom up there for that. So that's going to go up. I may have like 2 more of these layers on. But to add any more boilers, it's obviously not going to fit in this floor layout. So what I might do is just put boilers off to the side, just maybe visible, maybe not, I don't know. But just like, kind of just jab it on there, like stick an entire another building on the top of that one. I think it'll end up looking really cool. Give it some kind of abstract feel, while it's still kind of looking planned, because it's not just going to be like the thing hanging off the side. It's going to be like an actual building attached to that. It'll also give us a very vertical area. Like, it's not going to be lots of stuff on the ground. It's going to be stuff up in the air, which is also the kind of thing I wanted to go for. But yeah, that is the starting for this. Let's actually start doing a little bit of the working half, I should say, instead of the decorative half, because we need to get the steam boiler up and running as soon as possible, because it does take, what did I say, 5 hours to heat up, something like that. So we can at least get it in place and get like everything working pretty much once this decides to load. So solid fueled firebox, in the boiler tanks, and what do I have for conveyor belts? I only have 3, so I have to make some conveyor belts. I'm planning on just using some gray ones, maybe brown, I don't know. But actually brown might look cool. I'll have to look at it. I'll look at my options. But these are gonna be. Actually, I don't think I have precision sledgehammer. What you can do, this is just what I was thinking, because if you've ever been to like an actual power plant, they have conveyor belts. I'm assuming they're conveyor belts. They basically look like conveyor belts, if anything. And basically it would look something like this. Maybe I'd move it out one. Here. Oh, that's the boiler. No, don't use that. Use block. I might have it in one. I might have it like on the surface like this. I don't know. But then you throw something on it and it brings it up to the top and it works great. I'm probably gonna have it inset one though, just because you're not really meant to see the conveyor belt itself, but you will kind of be able to see the items on it if you look at the right angle. And then the side stuff would just probably be maybe, let's try this. That's a little purple. I don't know, I'll experiment. Check it out. The thunder did my work for me. Yay. Yes, burn! Burn! You don't belong here anyway. Okay, so I did it. And it looks pretty decent. Well, as decent as I could have wanted. I'm probably gonna add some supports underneath it. Because like when I visualize what I want this to look like, a lot of it's focused around how many supports there are to hold everything up. So yeah, there's gonna be quite a few here. But I'm in water. I cannot get out of this water. But yeah, it's just a conveyor belt. It goes up so you can get on it. I'm riding. And then it drops right in here. So it also works for items. Obviously, that's kind of the whole intention. The items get sucked up. They actually go up rather quickly. So it's really efficient and they get dropped right in here. So what I was thinking about doing is actually just having a bunch of stuff come in on a conveyor belt. Not necessarily everything, because everything is a lot, but a majority of things come in on some kind of main conveyor belt and they just have to be sorted. So if I put down one of these item routers, we can do that. So I actually don't think I have any charcoal on me. No. Let's make some. Going old school. Get some wood. Let's fire up some charcoal real quick. So all I need now is just another conveyor belt going into this one. And for right now, I'll just put this. I'm picturing a little building right here, just a small little building that just like a sorting building takes in a bunch of stuff, filters out what needs to go there. Everything else can continue on its way that way to wherever it has to go. But not much is going to be going through this, mainly charcoal. Mainly this stuff. Whoa. So this side is green, so I'm going to say charcoal goes green. And then what I should be able to do, also there'd be another conveyor belt going out this way, so you can just see. What I should be able to do is just throw charcoal there. Whoa, that actually looked really cool. Stop moving me. Very smooth transition. If something doesn't fit, if something doesn't fit, I think it's random. It'll go a direction that doesn't say no, pretty much. So that time it went off to this side. Yeah, that time it went that way. So I think if I put a conveyor belt like that, if it happens to go that way, it'll get pushed back in. And if it tries to go out the top, it'll just fall back in. So anyway it goes, it's going to end up going that way. And that's any item except charcoal. Only charcoal would be allowed up into there, and that's good because we don't want this system cooking factory blocks. Obviously not. Pick it up. So it rides up, it drops down, And that's that. So to get it onto there, I was going to use a plain old dropper, but they're kind of loud. So I saw this item dropper from OpenBlocks. I want to see if this works any better. It also could be cool because if we build like an actual hopper looking structure, this item dropper will be able to drop stuff in it. And if we put a ton of the item droppers, it'll be like raining things into this big hopper, like stuff's just pouring out of a quarry and it's being funneled down. I'm visualizing things in my head right now, and I think that'd look pretty cool. So can I actually turn this sideways, or does this only go facing down? Looks like it only goes facing down. Okay, next question. Does this thing work with a comparator? Because that's what I need to work, what I need to use it with. And this part's temporary. All this conveyor belt right here is permanent. This part right here is temporary. Okay, so keep that in mind. I needed 2 comparators, didn't I? I just want to see if this outputs a signal. Oh, it doesn't. Does it just output a redstone signal, maybe? No. Oh. You know what? I don't even have to, because this thing doesn't make any noise at all. So I can just set it to constantly run and not care. Advantage to silence. Silent. Now, drop red zone. Yeah. Oh, I need another one. The red zone will just end up over there. Really cool. And if you do the same thing with charcoal, it'll end up going up. Oh, too high. Right up there. It bounces a little bit, that's kind of neat. And it'll end up right here. Because it just falls through the hole in the roof. Because that's all I need it to do. So from here, it's just going to pretty much land in a hopper. Probably going to put some kind of supports to like hold this net up in the air, like a bunch of metal mesh, kind of. If you think about like rafters in a ceiling, there's just stuff in between it. This is going to be the stuff. So hopper can be like right here. I want it facing this way though. And then anytime charcoal comes in, obviously hoppers work. And then from here, they're just gonna get thrown into the boiler tank. Now I want to see, I'm gonna do a bit of looking right now, but I want to see if there's any mod that can give some kind of readout to these machines. Like it could tell me if the temperature's dropping or if it's running out of water. That way it can raise some kind of massive alarm through the whole city. Because if this thing runs out of water, and then you put water in it before it cools down, boom. And not just little boom, big boom. Yeah. I don't want to lose this building. Thank you. Thank you. I was kind of would have liked that like 10 seconds ago. So yeah, I'm just going to do a bit of research, hook this pipe up to here, and then see what we get from there. Wait, blue power timers, right? Yeah, no. No, that's not going to happen. Okay, so I've done a little bit more. The outside is pretty much good. I meant to add supports, didn't I? Yeah, I forgot to do that. I worked on the inside. So here's what I'm thinking for the roof. I put it a little high, but I actually don't have as much roof space as you might think. Because these things are 5 blocks tall. Hopper makes it 6. And this room is only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. So it's only 4 extra spaces above it that I have. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. 5 extra spaces. Yes, that seems to be math right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So yeah, not much space to make anything incredibly technical. It's hard to say that word for some reason. So I made this. We have this nice pipe design, these wireframes, I'm using them for the pipes, so I'm continuing the look in here. I used rusty metal plates for just kind of the, what did I call it? Scaffolding in the roof, whatever that thing is. And it holds up this pipe right here, which just sends items that way. And then this right here is where it's going to get a little interesting. This is just the delivery line that just takes the charcoal and just gives it to the two things. But we have to determine when we're giving it to which. So, I was just going to do that. At first glance, it doesn't look like anything super useful. The best thing we might be able to do is a repeater on this. I'll actually try that. I'll remember to try that. But we have to figure out when we have to power this, because if we power it, I believe we can get it to change directions. Something like that. That seems to make sense. Oh no, that just stops it. Right. Is there any kind of conditional router? No, it's just the old-fashioned item router. That could be interesting. I may have to do away with this line and have it delivered via just pipes. But for right now it'll work because we only have one boiler. And yeah, that's that. Okay, I should talk a little bit quieter because it's getting a little late right now. But I thought I'd end off the episode with some of the stuff I found. First of all, I haven't found any way of actually interacting with this thing. I've also found that breaking individual blocks doesn't boost the data, which is very helpful. Yeah, I tried computers, I tried comparators, I tried just flat out redstone next to it. Open peripherals might have something, but that mod isn't in this pack. And yeah, so we're going to end with a bit of science. Water has a boiling point of 100 degrees Celsius. And what happens when something boils and turns into a gas? It expands. Now what happens when something expands at an alarming rate? Apparently nothing. That is my experiment. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.